Hello everyone, it is your good old friend Andrea, and today I am coming at you with a little bit of a plan with me. And this week I am using the Neopets set, which was a pop mystery. Neopets? My jam. I was going to use this set for my birthday, because I just feel like Neopets just gives Andrea circa 2000s energy. But then I found out that the lanyard for Gen Con, which is the gaming convention that this is my second year going, was Neopets themed. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I realized that they have a Neopet TCG coming out. And if you know me and my gaming preferences, I quite like TCGs. They are kind of a vibe. So, all said and done, I was like, well, I guess I gotta change my kit for this week, and I am obsessed. I did use, which I feel like this foil one oddly goes with quite a bit. I did use the Lavender Hollow. I'm getting all my supplies together if you hear weird clanking. Ow, I just stabbed myself. I am using the Lavender Hollow Gold Hollow mixed metal, and this foil color matches a lot more than you'd think, and I am beyond obsessed with it. I think it looks absolutely fantastic with this set, though there is a lot of foils that I feel like would look fantastic with this set. So let's go ahead and jump right on into the good old day by day, because let me just give you a little spoiler. It did not end the way that I thought it would. And when I say that, I meant the plans. Okay, so this is July 29th through the 4th. I do have my custom multi for the week, which is from Planet Hannah in Gold Hollow in font 15. So let's go ahead and hop right on into her. So on Monday, I'm going to just do this in any which order that makes sense to my brain. First things first is Lila was homesick this day. She was very needy for mother, and I'm going to be using like a lot of these, because a lot of these are not in I think almost all of these are not in the art, because there's just so many elements and Neopets and pipettes and paintbrushes. There's just so much stuff. So I am going to use this little uni here with like the baby uni, I think it is, of sorts. And I'm going to just do this in any order, because all the things. I actually don't know what, I don't know what script I did for that. So we'll just have to oh no, I have the sick. Okay. I think that's what that was for. Hopefully. We'll figure it out. And prior to that, I did work a bunch. I was doing like reels and stuff, and Monday's usually kind of like a little bit of an admin day. So for that, where is my other sheet of stickers? Okay, let's do this for work. For work, I am just going to use from the doodles, because I do think that, I feel like I may have enough stuff here just to be able to like kind of pull things off here, because I think that would look really cute. I've done that before with, use the doubloon, with like the bluey set, I think, and it turned out really, really cute. So let's go ahead and plop that in there. I'm going to put it in light though, because depending on what I put above it, I might move it a little bit to center it. But I think this spread is going to be like a top one of the year, because this kit is just so cute. I just love Neopets. Let me know. Were you a Neopets person? Please let me know. My whole family was a Neopets person. All right. Prior to that, I did go to Target with the good old Theodorus. We went to Target for what? Who knows? But I can tell you right now, it was probably a fun vibe. So for that, I'm just use it honestly, whatever, because nothing like really makes tons of sense. Actually, I should use the omelet, because I probably got food. It's funny because like the TCG loved it. We'll talk more about that later, but like the only food that they have right now is hot dogs, which I don't remember hot dogs really being like that big of a thing, but whenever I think of Neopets, like I think of the omelets and the jellies. Then for dinner, I made this like no peak chicken thing. I saw it on Instagram and I was like, you know what? That sounds kind of like something my kids would eat. Nick was like feeling like a little meh this night. I think it was like allergies. So he was like, he ended up eating some of it and he's like, yo, if I was like hungry, I would have ate all of that. And I was like, oh no, I think they're mowing lawns. And I ate like 6 servings of it because at first I was like, I don't know if I like it. And then the more I ate it, I was like, no, I think I do like it. I can't really put my finger on it. I kind of like it and I kind of don't like it. So, I don't know. Actually, let me grab the movie marquee before I do this. Let's do yellow here. Then I just put in that we were just, you know, hanging with the fam in there. So for that, let's go ahead and just grab another one of these deco stickers. Probably not going to just keep saying I'm going to grab a deco sticker, and I'm just going to keep grabbing said deco sticker for hanging out with the fam, which is basically what I do every day after dinner, but I put it in if I need one more thing. My minimum's like 3 things. Did you hear my stomach growl? That was kind of crazy. Yeah, that was kind of wild. You know, that was a thing. But try to do at least 3 things on a day, but sometimes it ends up being, I mean, on a square. Sometimes it ends up being 2. Then in the PM, Nick and I watched this movie called Babes. It was quite cute. It was funny. I don't really remember too much, but it was like, it was a good time. Then on Tuesday, I slept like poo-poo the night before because Lila and Theodore were up a bazillion times that night. Or maybe it was early in the morning. I don't really remember. I feel like this week is a blur because it was just kind of like a whirlwind of crazy. So I have a little script here for that. And then I'm going to use a little bed icon. I'm still trying to work through this lawn mowing. I swear to you, they know when I'm filming. And they're like, oh, Andrea's filming. Let's go mow some lawns. Let's mow some lawns. It literally drives me nuts. Also, a new thing that's like top tier noise that drives me nuts is whenever Nick is playing like video games on a controller. Because I'm never around him in his room when he plays video games, like on a clacky keyboard, which also drives me nuts. But like the mashing controllers. You gotta hear that, right? I gotta take a break. My stomach's growling so loud. So I'll talk to you in a minute. Okay. It's actually been a couple of days because I got distracted. But let me organize my life and then let's get started again. Okay. So on Tuesday, I slept like poo-poo and then I had a good old massage appointment. And then afterwards, I just put in that I was really, really stressed about something. I'm not going to get into it, but I was just very stressed. So let's put that in there. And then for the massage appointment, let's do something blue, I think. I was wondering maybe if I cut this. Yeah, that'd be cute. Cut this a little bit and make it a little bit shorter. It's been a couple of days, but I am doing the do. For my massage appointment, I'm going to use the little, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like an angel pet thing. All right, let's do this in here and do an appointment sticker in the gold hollow. And then for being super stressed out, I will use one of these little negs there because it looks kind of weird. Like that. Stressed. I'm not in frame. Okay, now I'm in frame. Then me, Nick, and Mr. Theodore ran some errands. We went to Home Depot and to go get lunch. So I'm going to put that in with one of the bigger little things. For the icon, I am going to use maybe like a little shopping bag and then a little with T and N. For dinner, we did have I think we also went to Target too. We did have this thing called Graham Pop soup, which is something Nick's parents, I think, made up possibly. And it is basically just like ham fried together with potatoes and onions. And it's very yummy. My kids love it. So for that, let's grab a little frying pan sticker. A lot of the mini icons I'm using are just from like the little individual sheets of the Lavender Hollow. And then, yeah, I think that looks good with like it being the Lavender Hollow and the Gold Hollow scripts. And then I ended up just kind of working late this night. So for that, I'm just going to use one of these larger boxes. Don't really love this, but I feel like I could do blue. Yeah, let's actually just do blue next to it and then shorten that a smidge for working late. I've been working late a lot recently and I like don't love it, don't hate it kind of situation. So depends on the day. I'm gonna do it that way or this way. Like that. For working late, let's do this little toast because it's cute for no other reason besides it being cute. Kind of think this is maybe my last plan with me as we know it. I kind of have like an idea of something I want to do and like change up the way that I do plan with me. So I'm going to try it out next and see what happens. But we shall see. On Wednesday, I did work in the morning. This day was the day that I was leaving for the good old Gen Con. We had a late flight, which honestly felt so bizarre to be like leaving for the airport that late. I don't know if I loved it, if I'm being honest with you. Kind of, because I got to do work still, but like also kind of not. I don't know. It was very, very weird getting to the good old Indiana really, really late. So let's do this work was actually supposed to be, just see if I can lift that up. Took up a little bit of the ink, but I do have a work late in here, so I'm going to use that one instead. And then put this work up here. All good. Work. And then I did pack. I packed the same day that I was leaving, which turned out to be not my greatest move ever because I ended up having like a little bit of a mental breakdown of sorts. It was kind of like ridiculous of me, but like I just get this way about specific things and then I'm just like, okay, that was fun. So I was packing and I was like doing a test run because I have like a Stanley holder that I was going to take. And then when I had the Stanley holder and the backpack on, I was like, this is actually very uncomfortable. But I got the Stanley holder mostly for, I don't know why I didn't use any yellow this day. It's kind of weird. Like going to the park with the kids or going camping or going like basically anywhere with my kids so that I have like my free hands while still being able to like do whatever they need me to do. But anyways, I was like, I don't think this is going to work for the convention. And like, no matter which way I did it, I was like not thrilled. So I was like kind of freaking out a little in like this is just the way that I am kind of way. So I ended up just going to Target and getting one of those like skinnier water bottles, like, you know, the trendy ones currently, but it works out because it's like leak proof of sorts. It's not like a Stanley. If you turn it around, it like dumps water. So it was whatever. It soothed my brain to just do it that way. But then we did end up leaving for the airport. Chris dropped Hannah Bananas off at my house and we got McDonald's on the way for dinner. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that. I think I'll do a little Happy Meal box for Donald's. And then we did get on the airplane, of course. So for that, I will use maybe just this and then like cut it a little bit. But we went from Austin to Indianapolis, which is our second time at Gen Con. It's funny because the first time we went for 2 days and the second time I ended up having to leave and only going for 2 days. So it was like, it's almost like I'm meant to be there only for 2 days. We ended up reading on our flight because I was like, I'm not going to waste any of my space, my precious space for on the way home for any games that I already own. I'm just going to have all the space for all the things. And then we took an Uber to the hotel. We ended up getting a Burger King and making these like little goodie bag things. So I'm just gonna put in chillin' for that. I'm getting a lot of notifications right now. I'm kind of confused. Okay. Then on Thursday, Kane came early in the morning. We were kind of having bets on if he would actually like make it, because Kane is like sometimes late for things. So I'm trying to think how I want to do this. I think I'm going to do Kane in a blue Big Little thing, because that's fun, right? So he made it, and we're very excited to see him. It was his first Gen Con, and he loved it, of course. I really didn't have too much of a doubt in my mind that he was going to like it, if I'm being honest with you. So Kane got there. He drove because he's just in the good old Chicago. We did get McDonald's for breakfast, which was kind of like a theme because it was like sort of on the way and like cheaper than any other option. And we're kind of like just happy with McDonald's. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, might as well just get a little McDonald's hash brown on the way and a drink or cup of ice in my case. And then we rolled up to Gen Con, which Gen Con, if you don't know, is a gaming convention, like a board game, but they also have like other things as well. It's a general con, you know what I mean? So we had a fun time walking around and shopping and doing all of the things. I think for just like the first like putting in Gen Con, I'm going to use the like shop wizard. So let's do that. I have a little shop-in script and a Gen Con script. It's just such a fun time. It's like Super Bowl, basically, of the board gaming. Let's do this for shopping, like the little trophy. I got a lot of the games that I wanted. Was very, very excited. We did do an RPG on this day, and I don't know. It was a time. That was just the best way of putting it. It was a Nightmare Before Christmas RPG, and it was kind of weird because it was, I don't know, like, for one, like, Kane, like, his character, we don't really know that much about Nightmare Before Christmas. We thought it was something different. It wasn't, like, specifically said, like, point blank, this is supposed to be, like, Nightmare Before Christmas themed. But what do I want to put after this? More shopping? Best life? I don't know. Trying to think. Maybe I just want to, like, exit that out. Yeah, I'll just do best life. But anyways, so it was just weird because, like, for example, Kane was, like, his little character description was, like, good at potions and spells. But, like, anytime Kane tried to make, like, a potion or spell, like, she was like, no, that didn't work. And we're like, okay. Like, there was no, like, it was just very weird. It wasn't, like, 5E. It was, like, a homebrew. And it was just, like, not enough directions given. And I really wanted to leave, like, halfway. But I just feel like it's rude. But I don't know. It was kind of just generally not any of our vibes. And then especially that being, like, Kane's first role-playing adventure, he was like, yeah, I don't know if that's for me. And we were like, yeah, I don't really think that was, like, the best first impression of an RPG, because that's not really how, like, RPGs are. So, I don't know. Then, funny story. I feel like the story, like, we've told it a couple of times, and it's just not as funny as, like, it's like you had to be there moment, you know? So, funny story is that the elevator at the hotel we were staying at, there's a single elevator. It's only a 4-story elevator, and they have a bazillion, I'm talking a bazillion, or like 7 in, like, a small elevator, papers. And they're, like, bright pink, bright, like, all, you know, like, you get a neon pack of papers at the store. And it says like, if the elevator gets stuck, please don't jump, please call this number, whatever, whatever, whatever. So obviously you could tell that, and I just put in chillin'. We got Denny's delivered and we were just gaming. But anyways, so I was like, oh, it must be like pretty common that this elevator just like stops. And I was like, that's kind of spooky. And Kane was always like telling us like, no, like it's fine, it's whatever. So Kane went back to his car because I think we left our badges in the car, and like he didn't take his phone because Kane's just weird and sometimes just doesn't take his phone places. And he comes back like quite a while later. I was like, I don't know, like, you know, Kane, you never know. He knew I just got distracted and was just lollygagging or talking to somebody. Who even knows? So he comes back a while later. We didn't really think to check on him because also we didn't realize that he just didn't bring his phone with him. And he's like, looks like distraught. And we're like, okay, what happened? And remind this that there is signs all over that elevator. And it's like, this is like this. And you're like, okay, like this happens. So he comes back and he's like, I got stuck on the elevator. And we were like, what? And the way that he said it was just so funny. Like we were passing away laughing and Kane was so mad. Not really mad, but like maybe, because we were just like giggling so much because he got stuck on this elevator, and the whole time he was like, oh, like it's whatever. And he's like, they should have, you know, signs that say this is serious, this is not a joke. And I'm like, Kane, they literally have like 6 or 7 signs. I took a picture of it for memories of like on bright paper that says this. He's like, well, they should have it in blood red and it should say this is not a joke. And I was like, okay. But we were literally just lolling because he got stuck on the elevator. And then we were on the 4th floor. The rest of the time he like took the stairs, and we were like, oh, why didn't you just call the number? And that's whenever he was like, well, I didn't have he was like, I wouldn't have had time to call the number, but he had just said prior that he would have called 911. And we were like, what? And then he was like, yeah. And he was like showing us like how it like jerked like the elevator. And we were just like laughing and dying. And like Kane was like, it is not funny. And we were like, yeah, it kind of is actually really funny, especially because you were like, it's fine. And then he never took the elevator again. We did though, because we were just like, it's all good. And I think, especially if me and Hannah didn't have our phones and we were in this elevator, he's like, you guys would have been like terrified, whatever. And I was like, nah, I think that we would have been like on the ground peeing our pants off. Like we would have just been dying, like cackling, because it would have been so funny. But Kane, he was distraught and he was ready to lose it. So the next morning we had McDonald's for breakfast, and then we just did more shopping. And then I was like so hungry, so we stood in this concession line for forever, and I got a hot dog and nachos, and I don't even remember eating the hot dog. And this is the day where I started to feel a little weird. Like I kept telling Hannah, and I think she thought I was joking. I was like, I don't remember eating the hot dog. And and then like throughout the day I was like, yeah, I just like feel like weird. Like I feel more tired than I should, considering the fact I drank an energy drink this day, and I just kind of feel like tired, and I didn't feel like sick. I just felt like I feel like something's wrong because I feel like weird, and like I don't remember eating this hot dog. Like, and again, I think everyone thought I was being LOL funny, but I literally don't. Anyways, so there was that, and then we did have a meeting with a company called Rabble, which was really fun. They're super nice. And then we relaxed and vibed and got some food. For that, I think I'm just going to do a little thing. I think I got noodles, because I was like one of the few things that I got last year where, not one of the few, but I was just like, I really want to like get it again because it was very, very yummy. So I'm just going to put in that we were vibing. We went into the, what is it called? The stadium area, and was just like people watching and like watching all of the stuff like while we ate because it's like cool in there, and just vibing, which if I wouldn't have went in then I wouldn't have gotten in the stadium at all, which would have been so sad. I think the stadium is my favorite part because it has all the RPG stuff. Which RPG is role-playing game, if you didn't know. Then we had a little bit of time until the how to play for Neopets. So we sat in like the main area, but like kind of like tucked away in a corner. And I did FaceTime my kiddos honestly mostly Theo, and he was just like, I want to talk to Hannah, because he just loves Hannah so much. So just FaceTime my kids, and then we did the Neopets RPG, which was so funny. We got there like quite a bit early, so we just like found a spot, and Kane was getting worn out, which I love whenever Kane's with us, because I always feel like whenever it's me and Hannah, I'm the person who's like, I'm like tired and like defeated, and I feel like I'm like bringing down the squad by being like, I cannot function further. So Kane is also an old grandpa when it comes to his stamina of activities, so I always feel like I have an ally in the old person committee. So Kane was like, yeah, I'm like, I don't know about this. He's like watching other people do the like how to play, because you're like sitting right there with them. And he's like, yeah, I don't know. Like, this doesn't seem very me. I think he was a little like tired, TBH. And I was like, Kane, like, you've never done an RPG, so maybe you just need to like try it. Like, we're here. It's not going to be that long, yada, yada, whatever, whatever. And this was like my like Super Bowl. I was so excited for the Neopets, TCG, not RPG, sorry. I'm like losing my mind. But anyways, I was so excited because Neopets is my childhood, and I am out of, I believe, I would say I'm out of my whole gaming friend group, the one that likes TCGs, which is trading card games, the most. I like have probably played the most and like variety of the most, and I enjoy them the most. Nick really likes Yu-Gi-Oh! And Lorcana, and Hannah doesn't like any of them really. But the Neopets TCG was so fun. It's like a lot of dice chucking, which I just love dice with like an undying passion. And Neopets was so fun. And then afterwards, Kane was like, okay, I'm obsessed. Like, I'm obsessed. He bought like the starter decks, the booster packs, all of the things, and he is obsessed. Which actually we're going to do like a battle via FaceTime sometime. And I totally forgot about that in my times. So this, and then we got McDonald's for dinner. Okay, so then this night I did not sleep well at all. I slept like poo-poo. And I always sleep kind of like bleh in hotels. I just do best at home. I feel like that's kind of everyone though. But I woke up multiple times, and I had already decided like the second time I woke up that I was not going to be going to Gen Con that day, because I am a responsible human being. And like I said, the day before I felt weird, but I didn't like feel sick, if that makes sense. Like I felt like woozy, tired kind of, but not like sick. So this day I was like feeling weird, and I woke up multiple times, like I said. And then once everyone got up, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to go like lay in the shower for a little. And then Nick texted me, and he was like, yeah, I am like dying. And I was like, what? And he's like, I need you to come home. And Nick's not really the kind of person who is like super needy or like dependent or anything along those lines. So when Nick was like, you need to come home versus like, I got this, I was like, okay, I gotta go home, and like now. So I booked a flight, and still I felt like poo-poo, like whatever. And he was like, I'm sorry for like ruining your trip. And I was like, honestly, like I had already decided when I woke up and didn't feel good that I was not going to be participating in the events anyway. So I would just, like, if Nick wasn't sick, I would have just laid in bed there and just like rotted, you know. But if he, you know, my husband needs me. We have 3 small children. We have a 2.5-year-old, a 4.5-year-old, and an almost 7-year-old. And my neighbors were like not around. Not that it's their responsibility, but like usually they would be like, if we need help, they're there. And also my in-laws were out of state. So like no one was like available to help him. So, and he was literally like stayed on the couch, and my kids ran rapid. My house was trashed when I got home. And Bennett was like crying the one time because he thought that Nick was DEAD. The whole thing was very dramatic, but I did get a flight home, a last-minute flight home, just by myself, because Hannah was like, I would have come home, but I don't have keys in my house because Chris is gone. So like I would just be stuck at your house and like you're both sick. So I don't know about that. Which Kane and Hannah both didn't end up being sick, and they were like in the same hotel, breathing the same air, sharing same straws sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like there was like we weren't like not, and they didn't get sick. So I think that I got sick from my kids, and that's just what happened. And I didn't start showing symptoms until this was a weird day, and then this night was bizarre, and just like I was up like every hour. So I finally got home around like 4:00 p.m. and Nick just kind of like passed out and was not like available. I was like I said, sick, but I'm a rallier. So I can rally. I have the ability to rally. So on the way home, I did get cheese fries at the airport because I got there so early, but I was like, I don't want to sit at the hotel room because also the hotel room air is just so dry. So dry. And then I got my flight home. I had these really good pretzels on the flight, and I asked the flight attendant, I was like, hey, can I have like an extra bag of those? Which I've never asked before, but it felt like it was illegal. And they were like vegan, like they were jackfruit pretzels or something. I don't know. They were so good. Apparently they sell them at Randall's, and I need to go one day and get some because I think about them every single day. And they were so, so good. But I was like, can I have an extra bag of them? And I thought like literally I felt like I was stealing. And she comes back with 4 bags of them. And I was like, oh my God, is this like my good karma for like coming home to rescue my family? So honestly, it was a win because I got pretzels. All right. So I was with fam, and then I was like looking at Nick, and I'm like looking at myself, and I'm like, I think we got the COVID. And Nick's like, no, I think it's allergies. And I was like, I don't think so. I was like, I think we're sick. I was like, so I went and looked in the cabinet, and all of my COVID tests were like expired. So I did a Target pickup, like where they put the stuff in your trunk, and I got those. And then he needed more like medicine, to like, he was doing like the 3-hour every other, So I got my test, and I was like, well, Nick is like such a baby, like he'll have to do, like if he has to do some kind of test, he will, but his preference is no. So, and even like liquid medicine, it's like all of my kids take medicine better than Nick does. It's ridiculous. So I was like, all right, well, I bought 2, and I was like, I'm gonna take one, and if I'm negative, you're taking one. Like, I don't really care if you're gonna be a baby about it, like it's what's going to happen. So I took mine, and it was positive, like real bright, real fancy positive. And then it always reminds me of taking pregnancy tests, which I've probably taken 17,000 of them in my lifetime. But yeah, I was like, I'm just going to assume that you also have it. And he's like, you know what? Now that you say it, yeah, it probably is. And I was like, exactly. So we were both like, yep. We got it. And the kids were all happy and like fine, but they were like sick earlier in the week. So I don't know. Lila went to the doctors. I don't think they tested for COVID. I think they tested for strep. I think just strep. Maybe something else. I don't really remember. But either which way, she was also fine. It was like a 1-day thing. So then Sunday, and Nick actually, and I don't think it was actually whenever I took the test, but in the middle of the night, he woke up in the middle of the night, and I'm the puker in the family. This might be TMI, but I just feel like somehow I'm always throwing up. Like if I'm sick, it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just the way the cookie crumbles for me, but I feel like Nick never does. So Nick was up in the middle of the night, puking his brains out, and that puking, and it also the other way. Thing is with, like, you're maybe like, is this too much information? I don't know. And also Nick doesn't care. Nick would tell you this. If he was here, he'd tell you all his deepest, darkest secrets. He doesn't care. So he was up just expelling all of the things. And then the next day he felt better, like much better this day. His fever finally like was down. He still didn't feel like 100. Like we didn't for a bit. But I did get an HEB delivery order this day for groceries because I wasn't planning on obviously being home yet. And I needed like chicken noodle soup supplies. Do you know what I mean? Like it was that time like, it was time to pull out the big guns and make the biggest batch of chicken noodle soup ever to be made ever. So I got a H-E-B delivery, which I haven't got one of those in like 100 years. I did also a curbside a couple of days later, and God, I hate curbside. Everything just takes so long. I could, like, I don't know if it was maybe just the day we went, but like, obviously that was the option then, was curbside. I could have did a delivery, but it's not that far away. But I was like, if I wasn't sick, it would have taken me less time because how long it takes to sit there. I could have went in, grocery shopped, checked out, loaded everything up, and probably been home in the time that it took to get my to-go order, or my, like, curbside order. Which, I mean, like, it's a convenience thing, but I was like, I don't think I'd do this on the normal. I feel like it just takes forever. Because at first I was like, oh, this is kind of nice, just being able to click, 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 and then just roll up. But it was not that simple. It was roll up and wait. Roll up and chill. That's what it was. So then we were just hanging out with the fam, because what else was there to do? Like I said, I wasn't planning on being home yet. Kane and Hannah were obviously still at Gen Con, living their best life, doing all of the RPG stuff. They did like a mini painting thing, which I'm very jealous of, but it's cute because because that one, like, you actually had to pay for. A lot of the Gen Con stuff you don't have to pay for, or it's like $1. This actually cost like actual dollars. I forgot I had like these mini icons. But sorry, I just burped. I'm trying to look for icons. I know I have more, but I don't know. I feel like I'm looking and they're all the same. No, here we go. It's also not what I wanted. Actually, no. I'm just going to use a fork and knife. But they were like, oh, that's so, like, we're happy that she's not, like, here spreading germs. So, like, here's what she, like, missed, like, to, like, be able to do it at home. Plus, they gave me extra minis to paint, which I thought was really, really nice. And I'm glad that they had a fun time. They got some extra bonding time. I have my hours in with each of them, so I'm glad that they got to, you know, hang out and, you know, get to know each other more intimately. You know what I mean? They got some BFF times. So I did make that big pot of chicken noodle soup, which chicken noodle soup, it really does make me feel much, much better. And then after the kids went to bed, I did work for a little bit, but ultimately I did end up cuddling Nick and going to bed early. We did go to bed early the night before as well. But yeah, it was a time. I slept a lot, hung out with the kids, did the do, and I don't remember how long I felt sick for, but it was like, the thing was, is I felt sick, and then it was just like, I need to, like, catch up on work, because I was, like, sick for so long. But that's basically everything. Overall, had a great time at Gen Con. I just love Gen Con. I only got 2 days, but I feel like, I told Nick, like, he was like, oh, I'm, like, felt so bad because I ruined your trip. And I was like, honestly, like, you didn't ruin my trip. I was like, if you had told me the day that I got there, or like the morning of, like, this day, that, like, you're sick, I need to come home, I was like, I would have been a little bit, like, disappointed. But honestly, I did my shopping. I got to do the Neopets how to play thing. And I got to spend time with my friends, so I am satisfied with my care type situation, so it's whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy to be at home and assist and take care of my family. So this is what's going to be going into the good old D-stash, and then I do have quite a bit of, like, extra, like, underlays and stuff, and, like, some of this stuff, which I will be saving, which basically this is almost like, or maybe it is like a full, besides like a couple of full boxes, kit left, and then I have all of these that I'm going to save as well, and I'll just put these in a cello and then put them near my other full sets of these, which, like I said, I use those quite a bit, and then all of this is going into my D-stash pile. But yeah, this is the spread. I think it turned out really, really cute. I could definitely see myself using this spread again, just because I think it is so stinking stunning, and I just love Neopets so much, and I thought it was perfect for this week because, again, they had like all of the new trading card game, which basically premiered there, I feel like, because I don't think many people had it otherwise. But yeah, I think it turned out really cute, and let me know if you play Neopets as a kiddo. I even played it like a couple of years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago. I reopened my account to like play on it, and at the time, all of the Flash stuff didn't work, so it was very like a 25% of the same vibes as it was. But I know they've recently like updated a lot of it, and a lot of the Flash games work now, which is really cool. It's kind of like the Neopets resurgence 20 years later. But yeah, that's everything. I hope you like this video, and I will talk to y'all in my next one.